10 people have been killed in a devastating tornado in eastern China. More than 5,000 people were injured. Hundreds of destroyed houses were left where the tornado passed through. Streets of cities are littered with fragments of roofs, debris of buildings and street structures. Operational services are working in the disaster zone. They have been transferred to a reinforced mode of work. A powerful hurricane passed through Karelia. The wind was so strong that it felled trees and broke electric wires. As a result, 45 settlements were de-energized. Now electricians are restoring power supply. Socially important objects are being prioritized. Earlier, the chairman of the State Committee of Karelia on Life Support and Safety of the Population, Oleg Polyakov, said that the energy sector had entered the high alert mode in advance. Emergency brigades are working. Typhoon caused waterlogging and blackouts on Sakhalin. A typhoon came to the south of Sakhalin. The regional center has suffered the most from the elements. There is waterlogging, a large private sector was left without light. Schoolchildren have cancelled classes. Sakhalin Governor Valery Limarenko said that 10 residential buildings were flooded, 6 apartment buildings, and more than 500 private houses, where more than 2.6 thousand people live, were de-energized. According to the Regional Emergency Situations Ministry, heavy rains are forecast in 7 municipalities in the south of the island. Schools in the south of the island cancelled classes for the first and second shifts due to weather conditions. This affected pupils in Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk, Korsakov, Dolinsk districts, as well as the village of Troitskoye in the Niva district. Air flights from Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk to the Kuril island of Kunashir and to Sovetskaya Gavin were postponed for a day due to bad weather. In early September, the emergency regime was introduced in 3 districts in the south of Sakhalin due to heavy rains. More than 300 houses and schools were flooded. The bad weather left more than 2.5 thousand people without electricity. Hurricane Otis came to the Mexican resort town of Acapulco. As a result of the weather, dozens of people died. The missing are still being searched for. The hurricane caused huge destruction. In the city, 200,000 houses were damaged, and there is almost no mobile communication. What is known about the consequences of the hurricane in Mexico? Hurricane Otis intensified very strongly. In a few hours, he turned from a tropical storm into a hurricane of the 5th category, the most powerful on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. On the morning of October 25, it reached the shores of Acapulco. As a result of the bad weather, 39 deaths have been recorded. However, their number can still increase because rescuers and volunteers continue to search for the bodies of the dead even in the sea. People with serious injuries are transported by airplanes and helicopters. It will take years for the city to recover. In the city, with a population of 790,000 people, more than 200,000 buildings were damaged. A number of hotels and restaurants of one of the most popular resorts of Mexico turned into ruins. Preliminary damage from the hurricane is estimated at $15 billion. Experts say it will take years to recover. At present, the country's authorities are engaged in liquidation of the consequences of bad weather. In early September, the emergency regime was introduced in 3 districts in the south of Sakhalin due to heavy rains. More than 300 houses and schools were flooded. The bad weather left more than 2.5 thousand people without electricity. Ash emission at a height of 2.7 kilometers was recorded by experts on Wednesday morning on the Kuril volcano Abeko, the press service of the Kamchatka branch of the Unified Geophysical Survey of the Russian Academy of Sciences informs. Ash ejection at a height of 2.7 kilometers above sea level, noted in the message. According to specialists, the plume spread in the eastern direction for a distance of more than 5 kilometers. Abeko volcano, with a height of 1156 meters, is located on Paramushar Island, 7 kilometers northwest of Severokurilsk, in the northern part of the Vernadsky Ridge. Regular emissions, weak to moderate, have continued since October 20, 2016, which is normal activity for the volcano. The record emission was registered on August 31, 2018. At that time, a column of smoke soared to a height of 6 kilometers from the new vent of the volcano, formed in 2017. Power supply in 24 districts of the Kursk region has been disrupted due to bad weather. The region was hit by heavy rain and strong winds. From the consequences of unfavorable weather conditions suffered 181 settlements, reported the press service of the government of the region. In the restoration work involved 46 emergency recovery teams of power engineers. 94 people, 46 units of equipment. A significant part of the damage was eliminated at night. By Sunday morning 82 settlements in 16 districts of the region were without power supply. The earthquake with magnitude 5.2 occurred in Tajikistan. Shocks recorded seismological experimental methodological expedition of the Ministry of Emergency Situations of Kazakhstan. The epicenter of the seismic event was located 621 kilometers from Almaty on the territory of Tajikistan. There are no reports of damage and casualties. On October 20, the earthquake with magnitude 4.9 occurred on the border of Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. The epicenter of the tremors was located 176 kilometers west of Almaty. The consequences of the earthquake were not reported. In the Chelyabinsk region, 12 people were injured in a serious traffic accident. Dozens of flights at the airport were cancelled, all because of heavy snowfall and icy conditions. In what other regions winter has come? 6 ambulance crews took the victims to hospitals in Chelyabinsk. 11 passengers received various injuries when the bus collided with a car and crashed into a pole. The traffic police asked drivers to be more attentive in conditions of such snowfall. During the movement, strictly observe traffic rules, do not violate the speed limit and distance between the means, avoid sharp maneuvers on the road. Take into account the weather conditions and the state of the road surface, urged ahead of the Technical Supervision Department of the State Automobile Inspectorate for the city of Chelyabinsk Vitaly Lopovtsev. Another bus went off the road on the Troitsky track near Chelyabinsk. The driver failed to cope with the control. By luck, no one was seriously injured. More than 10 flights from Chelyabinsk have been cancelled. Passengers are given hot meals right at the airport. Many were supposed to fly with a connection in the capital, but remain waiting for the weather to improve.